Did you know that anyone with access to your data could open up your organization to more vulnerabilities? At SideChannel, we merge deep expertise with our innovative software product to ensure that critical data is secure. Vendor lists grow, but your organization's cyber risk level doesn't have to. Learn more about our risk management services at sidechannel.com.
Hi, everyone. This is Gary Berman, host of the Cyber Hero Adventures Show, with a very special series that we're going to be doing on the nexus of philanthropic efforts, as well as cybersecurity and other related matters. We're kicking off this series with Craig Newmark, founder of Craigslist, who now is the founder of Craig Newmark Philanthropies. Hey, Craig, welcome to the show.
Hey, I'm really glad to be here.
Indeed. And before I just hit the record button, we were just kind of talking a little bit about your priorities and what you've done with your philanthropic efforts. So why don't we just start with cybersecurity, since our audience is primarily focused on that, and what you think about cyber defense and everything that you and your colleagues are doing to help make us safer.
Well, basically, my deal in a number of areas is to help and protect the people who help and protect the country.
Indeed.
We're a country maybe at war, you could say, where a lot of bad actors are trying to really hurt us, either to weaken our national defense or just to steal. And I figure it's incumbent upon people like me who have some discretionary resources to help the people who are really getting the job done, whether that's in government, sometimes nonprofits and NGOs, sometimes it's in business. But my deal is to identify some areas where some good could be done and fast, and where it's really needed. So I support groups like that.
And you said a number of adjectives just now, good, fast, support. Things do seem to be moving at kind of hyperspeed now as it pertains to cybersecurity. What's your assessment of the readiness of the country pertaining to that? I know that's a big question, but...
We have a reasonably good level of preparedness from where we come from, because this is a little understood area by many, and it's perceived as something that people just have to spend money on. People don't understand that we're defending ourselves much like we defended ourselves in World War II, that there is a real enemy out there, and they really do want to hurt us, and they've already cost us a lot in dollars, sometimes in lives, and we need to do better right now, and then we need to do better and better forever.
Indeed. It is a lifelong and forever mission, for sure. So one of the things, just to break that down a little bit, is something that I've listened and learned about in cybersecurity, is that the criminals, the threat actors, appear to be kind of horizontally organized, where they share information, threat information, hacking, materials, quite freely, where the defenders are a little bit more vertically, kind of organized because of intellectual property, competition, the patchwork of rules, regulations, state, local, national, global kinds of requirements. What's your assessment about our country's ability to share information so that rising tide lifts all ships, to use your World War II kind of analogy?
Things are moving in all directions with regards to that. On the one hand, people working on cybersecurity do need to share information much more effectively, particularly threat intelligence. However, you do need to be careful. You need to give people enough information to connect the dots. If that could have happened better, we could have prevented 9/11. On the other hand, you want to maintain controls on what you're sharing, because otherwise some dumb kid might share intelligence that he shouldn't have. He might share it on Discord. These are really tough problems. I don't know what the progress is in solving them, and that's way out of my lane. So I'll just hope the intelligence community and others get a lot more effective about that.
Yeah, indeed. Apropos to what you're saying, we did a show earlier this week on the nation's long-term plan on biotechnology. Cutting across everything. All the way down to atoms in the human and ecosystem. So with the complexity of the kinds of issues that we're talking about or that we deal with, how do you know where to start so that you get the best return on your mission for your time and money?
In my case, I do a lot of reading, and then I talk to a lot of people in the area, try to figure out what's a consensus that I think I can make a difference, and then I start working with and directly funding organizations, and I try to help them with communications, both offensive and defensive.
That's interesting, offensive and defensive. Can you share a little bit about that without getting into anything confidential?
Yeah, I should say outgoing communications.
Oh, okay.
People who are doing good work need to get it out there. But if they're doing good work and establish a profile in an area like cybersecurity, that means they're going to attract enemies, sometimes foreign state actors who are going to try to hurt the people who are protecting us. So they need to be ready to defend themselves, and they need to be reminded that they need to defend themselves. This happens over and over. It helps if you've been targeted in a real ugly way, which happened to me 10 years ago. The blessings of that are that I learned a lot, and now I'm sharing that limited knowledge.
So one of the most interesting things that you shared thus far is this notion of protecting the people who are protecting democracy, journalists. You've been a big supporter of CUNY, in New York and the journalism school. How did you come to that as a priority?
Basically, I realized, like I learned in high school history, a trustworthy press is the immune system of democracy. Sometimes that immune system fails, but I figured instead of complaining, I would just help build a more trustworthy journalism ecosystem. So that's why I'm supporting journalism in general, CUNY specifically, because CUNY overall is known for helping people move into let's say a life with no money into the middle class.
That's right.
And the middle class is a big part of what makes America America.
Yeah, indeed. So, with your philanthropic efforts late last year, and you made a significant donation. I believe it was around $80 million or so to various, philanthropies. You were named to the philanthropic, 50, which is a high honor. Is that something maybe you can talk a little bit more about?
Well, basically, I came into additional monies, and I've given away a big chunk of it right away to areas including cybersecurity and journalism, veterans, and military families. And now I'm planning on how to do the rest of it. How do I exhaust my remaining philanthropic funds during the remainder of my lifetime? And my next two meetings are about that, but more focused on cybersecurity.
Indeed. Would you like to shine the light on some of your cybersecurity work that you've done, or some of the organizations that you've funded?
Working a lot with the Aspen Institute and the Global Cyber Alliance and Consumer Reports, one big theme is cyber civil defense, because we all have to defend our internet connected stuff from criminals who might want to steal from us, or who might want to screw around with our home-based industrial control systems. For example, our internet connected cars, and that's the way they're going. You don't want a hacker to say remotely blow up your car or to drive you off the road. You don't want your internet connected oven to blow up. You don't want your internet connected coffee maker to deliver weak coffee to you. So that's an area where I'm working on. We want manufacturers to try to design security in from the beginning. We also want them to do some testing, in good conscience. And then we also want people like Consumer Reports to do more testing so that when you buy an internet connected device, there's a nutrition label on it which says this has been tested in good faith. We're just at the very beginning of that process, but it's a big deal for our safety.
Well, I'd love that because at this moment, from an end user perspective on the many IoT devices that you just talked about, there is no information, about the safety of the devices.
Yeah.
And even the terms of privacy are ridiculous. Like no one reads them, so we just authorize, apps to
Sure.
use whatever they want in whatever way they want without thinking about it.
Yes.
Yeah, and Consumer Reports is a very, I think it's brilliant. So how far along are you in the process? You mentioned just at the beginning, but are they in the pilot stage, or what can you share with our audience about that and how they can get more information about it?
It's just in the pilot phase. It's very early, and right now, when they're ready to announce, they'll start announcing things. Personally, I'm not a patient guy, so I just do what I can to restrain my impatience. I take deep breaths, and then I move on. I do the next thing. But I hope that's enough for your network right now. I have 2 meetings on cyber, one on the ransomware task force and one on the cyber civil defense that I think I better prepare for.
Indeed. Well, on behalf of the Grateful Digital Universe, Craig Newmark, thanks for who you are and what you do, and most importantly, why you do it. And it'd be great to at least maybe say hi or give you a hug for an RSA if possible. So thanks again.
Okay, I'll see you around. You take care.
Bye.